You want me to tell you how sorry we think they are? Every European is a last pick in All-Star game. Nobody wants them motherfuckers, man.
That doesn't make sense.
When it comes to the NBA in 2023, the international talent, foreign-born talent, is simply off the charts and better than it's ever been. And among the top 10, top 5, that upper echelon of players, there's a real debate to be had. The international stars outnumber the American-born stars. And when it comes to older NBA fans, older former players, people like Gilbert Arenas, even in 2023 heading to 2024, they're still in denial about European players, foreign players, and how good they actually are.
Does America need to take back its respect in basketball?
Yes, because I feel like right now, it's only probably, it might be one player that's American that's top 5 right now in the NBA.
Stop.
Okay.
Top 5?
Yeah, that's fine.
Top
That's
5.
fine.
The best players?
Yes.
Like being an
You know what
NBA
I'm talking about?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. He just,
No, I'm
listen,
talking about
fuck all
best.
that. Listen, bro.
Luka not at
But y'all better work
For
on y'all.
European?
Man, y'all better work on y'all
Man,
game. Y'all better work on y'all game.
Y'all think like KD.
Better work on
Y'all
y'all
think
game.
about KD like he's sleep.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
KD.
No,
see,
it's
KD.
Joel Embiid.
First of all, who's better than KD?
Now, stopping Gilbert right there, to answer his question, is there one international player better than Kevin Durant? I think it's pretty simple, yes. As Nikola Jokic this year led his team to a championship, minus a super team as the best player, something Kevin Durant not once done his entire career. And adding insult to injury, in the second round, Jokic beat Durant's Suns. And looking at that series in more detail, Jokic compared to Kevin Durant averaged more points, more assists, rebounds, steals, on better shooting. It's not even a debate who was better that series and who was better in this year's playoffs, as Jokic, unlike Kevin Durant, was the best player on his team. And one more international star I'd say is better than Kevin Durant is of course Giannis, due to his two-way impact, having a championship more recently, and just how dominant he is and how healthy he is compared to Kevin Durant. And of course Steph Curry. He didn't win the championship this year, but he was still fantastic individually and put up great numbers. And of course in 2022, won his 4th championship and his 2nd without Durant on his roster. I would say those 3 guys, Giannis, Jokic, and Curry, are definitively better than Kevin Durant in 2023. The one I would debate, it's definitely an argument, is Luka Doncic versus KD. Now, why I would say Luka actually has the edge at this point is more recently he made the conference finals in an all-time great run. And comparing KD versus Luka the past 3 years, they've won the exact same playoff series during that time period. And if you say winning is a team stat, shouldn't matter in rankings, okay, let's go with that. Luka versus Kevin Durant these past 3 years in the playoffs, Luka averages more points, assists, rebounds, steals on very similar shooting from the field. And Luka, unlike Kevin Durant, he's never had a bad series in his career. He's always consistent and not once was shut down by a team like Boston. If you look at the 5 best players in the NBA today, I would say it's Jokic, Curry, Giannis, Luka Doncic, and that 5th spot kind of up for grabs. At the absolute worst, 3 of the top 5 players in the NBA are international players. And expanding to the top 10, I would say Joel Embiid, despite his struggles, is still a top 10 player. Which means, at worst, 40% of the players in the NBA who are top 10 are international talents.
You ain't talking about
that's why
nobody
y'all putting winning in it. Y'all talking about the better teams.
Of course.
No, we're not talking about the best team. You're saying the best player.
If you're the best player,
not
your
the
team is
best
winning.
player on the best team.
KD, you said KD
We're
the best
not
player?
talking the best player on
You
the
said
best team.
KD the best
We're
player?
talking about put them 5 out there. Who's going to be the best player?
All them Europeans have. If you put the best European players on a team right now against the American players, we will fucking lose.
I guarantee we play one-on-one right now. They all get their ass bopped.
Hell yeah, they would.
They gonna get their ass
No, they
bopped.
wouldn't.
So let's stop that right here. When listening to Gilbert Arenas talk, you gotta consider the source. Gilbert in his playing career, he was a score-first player, ask questions later. And the era he grew up on was very much ISO ball, hero ball, and the dead ball era. And what he values as the quote-unquote best players, it's like those one-on-one guys who are just great scorers. Someone like Iverson, T-Mac, Kobe, players in that vein. And while those players, of course, are great players, thinking only that type of player can be the best player, it's pretty narrow-minded thinking. As when it comes to basketball, it's a 5-on-5 sport and not a 1v1 game. As if it was 1v1, the top 10, top 15 rankings list, they'd be completely different. For example, just because SGA can beat Jokic in 1v1 doesn't mean he's better. Or someone like Giannis could just post Steph Curry up, beat him 1v1, doesn't mean he's a better overall player and a better basketball player in a 5v5 game. And for Gilbert of all people to act like winning doesn't matter, it's pretty absurd as well as hypocritical. As after this year's finals, he said Jokic finally has a claim to be the best in the world because he won. And he even went one step further, saying Jokic is more dominant than Shaquille O'Neal. I guarantee you, it's 100% guarantee, if Denver lost versus Phoenix in the second round, with Jokic playing great, Gilbert still wouldn't call Jokic the best player in the world or more dominant than Shaquille O'Neal. Why he had those takes because Jokic won the championship and played great in the process.
I'm gonna give you the Chris Paul.
You gonna give him the Chris Paul?
Like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about?
We're not talking about
I don't want
one-on-one.
team. I don't want team.
We're not
Stop
talking
saying
about
team.
one-on-one.
Hold your own.
Okay.
If you're saying the best player,
Okay.
that means if I say him play one-on-one. If you say, oh, he's too good, then how the fuck can you say you're the best player in the
But
world?
we're not
the
saying
best
that.
Player
The
in the
best
world,
player in the world won the championship.
No,
His
that's
name
not.
is Jokic.
Thank you.
Jokic won the championship, and he led
I don't
his
go
team.
by.
He's
I
the
don't,
best
I'm sorry.
player
I don't
in
go
the
by those
world.
criteria.
Okay, well then.
Now, Gilbert right here is kind of getting cooked, so what he resorts to is saying, that's not my criteria. And look, to each their own their criteria, you can have your criteria. But objectively speaking, what Rashad McCants said, it makes logical sense. Jokic in the playoffs, he won the championship, played great in the process. He wasn't putting up a measly 25-5 and playing, mad basketball and kind of just won the championship by stumbling into it. It was a brutal beatdown in the NBA, and there was no question who the best player was. And look, for Gilbert, how is this criteria? Jokic in the playoffs averaged 30 points, nearly 14 boards, 9 assists on 55% shooting. In addition to that, for the entire playoffs in total, led in points, assists, and rebounds. If you think that quote-unquote criteria isn't more important than 1v1 play, you're simply delusional and a lost cause.
I don't play basketball. I don't play basketball as those criteria.
No, you play basketball to make
The
money.
most unstoppable nigga is the best player in the
No,
NBA.
it's not, because he ain't.
Who's the most
Kobe,
when Kobe won
that
it,
nigga's losing.
when Steve Nash won the MVP, Kobe was the best motherfucker on the planet.
That's fine.
The MVP
Steve
or the
Nash didn't win the
championship or the champion did not say he was the best. Kobe Bryant was the best motherfucker walking this
Who won the
planet.
championship?
So, stopping Gilbert right there, I understand his point, what he's trying to say, but it's really a false comparison. Because Steve Nash versus Kobe in 06, nobody was saying Steve Nash is the better player, and in hindsight, the majority of NBA fans don't think Steve Nash deserved that MVP. But comparing that debate of Nash versus Kobe in 06 to Jokic versus whoever Gilbert thinks is the best, it's not a one-to-one comparison or apples to apples. Because Nash back then, maybe he was a borderline top 10 player, he wasn't top 5, definitely not top 3. Compared to Jokic this year, who definitely was top 3 at the worst heading into the playoffs, but after the playoffs definitively was the best. This comparison by Gilbert, what it's trying to do, is really downplay winning, downplay how good Jokic is, and get this false equivalency of Steve Nash equaling Jokic, when once again, it's not comparable, not the same players, and it's a whack comparison in general.
You want me to tell you how sorry we think they are? Every European is a last pick in All-Star game. Nobody wants them motherfuckers, man. Every year, Rudy Goldberg,
Nigga, that's
liars.
buddy system shit.
Jokic, liars.
First of all,
Gil.
hold on, wait.
Liars. We don't give a fuck about that. Liars. Shut your sorry ass down.
Well, there it is, officially, we have reached rock bottom. We are using All-Star games. No, not even All-Star games. All-Star pick selections in basketball debates. If you think those picks actually matter, have some kind of valid ranking, more power to you. But using Gilbert's logic of someone like Jokic being the second to last pick, that means John Morant, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell are all better players than Jokic. And going back to the 1v1 stuff, which Gilbert loves, in NBA history, if we rank players off 1v1 alone, someone like Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, even Allen Iverson are most likely top 10 players. And someone like Jamal Crawford, Kyrie Irving, those guys also are the top tier in 1v1 basketball. That's why you can't take 1v1 as the same as 5v5. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.